So check this out. Headline: Universal reportedly wants a Fast and Furious and Jurassic World crossover. What are our thoughts on that?
Such bullcrap. That fills me with a rage inside just hearing that sentence. This is the first I heard of it, and I'm pissed.
Why?
First of all, there hasn't been a good Fast and Furious movie since like what? The freaking Tokyo Drift, which I don't even know
That's
what
the
year
second
that
one.
was.
Oh, dude, you just
Oh, no,
upset.
that's
You
the
just
third one?
you
Is
just
that the third
upset
one? Yeah.
like so many people.
Dude, have you seen the ones recently? They're like flying cars into jets and stuff like that.
I know.
They're dad movies. They're dad
action. They are dad action.
And
go ahead.
I don't know. I grew up watching Jurassic Park as a kid every day after school. Loved those movies to death. Like that was my first love was Jurassic Park.
Oh.
Okay, so this is Jurassic World. What were your thoughts on Jurassic World?
Not as good as Jurassic Park. I still find them entertaining. Like they were entertaining. They weren't bad movies. But I wouldn't put them on the level of Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park's way the best of all those, but it's still Jurassic World's in that universe, and to me, throwing freaking Fast and Furious into that will just taint that forever. I don't want to see what would the premise be? Because the last Fast and Furious movies have all been like heist movies. What are they going to do? Go onto the freaking islands that got blown up in the last movie, but to like heist dinosaurs?
Actually, that would be the plot. Yes, I can see that plot very easily.
That would be the only thing that would be. It's like, oh, yo, we're getting Vin Diesel on The Rock to like freaking heist a T-Rex and like get him to the States. Like,
I can see it.
It enrages me. There's no way they should do this. This is so stupid. It should stay a rumor.
How much you want to bet, even independent of this, the next Fast and Furious, what is it, Fast and Furious 15? It's like Kids Pop. You kind of like lose track of what number you're on.
I don't even know what number.
They're like heisting a truck, and they at the very end they open it up, and it's like a cut scene at the very end after the credits, and it's a dinosaur, and everyone goes, "Oh my gosh, are they doing the crossover?" You know, that's stupid crap.
You know, Universal, if they do this, are the smartest people on the planet. Because Aaron, I know that, you know, maybe you're a little bit different here, but most people that say it's stupid are probably going to go see it and pay to see it.
Yep, 100%.
Because they're going to be curious. They're going to want to make fun of it, or they're going to want to see if it's any good. And a lot of people are going to want to see that because you're taking two fan bases and merging them together. So you're taking it's just a lot of people are going to go to see that.
I feel like they're the same fan base, though. They're people who like movies with no plot, because that's what Jurassic World is. I can't stand the Jurassic Worlds because, like, the standard is Jurassic Park, right? And Jurassic Park has this really intricate, great story with some one-liners,
phenomenal
memes for days. Then you get to Jurassic World, and it's like Jurassic Park is mac and cheese, and Jurassic World is like vegan organic mac and cheese. It has all the components of what should be mac and cheese, except the dairy. So it tastes nothing like it. The only reason why I say is because my wife is allergic to dairy and to gluten. So she actually found like the Annie's vegan mac and cheese, and I've tried it, and it looks like mac and cheese. It smells like mac and cheese. It tastes nothing like Kraft mac and cheese, man. And like, it's so gross, but that's how I feel about like the Jurassic Worlds. Like, they have all the elements of movies that I would like: action, you know, like dinosaurs. Like, what if you don't like a movie with dinosaurs in it, please check yourself into the hospital. I think that's a new symptom of COVID-19. Like,
I agree.
But like, I don't know, those movies just, they didn't do it for me because the acting was horrible, and no, I'm the only one, he says as he flies the helicopter in. Like, come on. Like, it was so dumb. That was the first movie I walked out of the movie theater and said, yeah, that movie sucked, and everyone thought I had like 6 heads. No, it literally sucked.
Yeah, I don't hate it.
That's how I felt with Rise of Skywalker.
That was one of the other movies I walked out of the movie theater and went.
The biggest eye rolling moment in the first Jurassic World was when there's the big fight with the T-Rex and the Indominus, and the T-Rex kind of loses, and then the hero music plays, and in comes the Velociraptor in like a slow-mo shot, and I was just like, bro, really?
Yeah.
Like, they're like, he's the hero, he's here. What I liked about the Jurassic Park in the second one wasn't as good, but The Lost World is still, I like the movie.
I actually like the third one too.
Yeah, but in those movies, is the dinosaurs were just dinosaurs, and it was about the people
Yes.
trying to survive. In Jurassic World, they've tried to make it the Indominus is like this evil dinosaur, the Indoraptor is this evil dinosaur stalking them throughout the film, and it's like that's not what it should be. Dinosaurs aren't like that. They're just being dinosaurs, and that's what was so much better about the older movies than the new ones. I think they tried to make the dinosaurs more character-y, but that doesn't work. Like they're freaking reptiles that eat people. Just keep it like that.
Yeah, just
All
keep
you
it
gotta do.
simple. That'll
Yep.
bring us to the next thing I want to get to, but Tyler, let's hit the music first and then we'll get to it. So ready? This is the Under 500 podcast.
All right. Welcome back into the Under 500 podcast. I am Tyler, and I am joined by my lovely two friends, Eric and Aaron. Eric, what is up?
I'm actually doing pretty good. I'm feeling pretty spicy tonight for a multitude of reasons, but Sunday night I found out I'm having another boy, so I'm pretty excited about that.
Oh, you have two boys?
Going to have two boys, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Good for you. That's awesome. A girl would have been equally awesome.
Yes. Yeah.
Not trying to get canceled. Aaron, how you doing?
I'm good. We gave Isaac a haircut today, and the neighbors would have thought we were trying to kill our child by his response to that. I always get worried
Really?
when we give him a haircut because he screams bloody murder, and it sounds like we're torturing him. And I'm just waiting for the cops to be called one day. It's bad.
What-
Like, I mean, he's just every like tears, snot, saliva all coming down like at once, and it was just yeah,
Really?
it's not. Oh, he hates it. He can't stand it. And I don't get. It's like it's. I think we use clippers, so he doesn't like the vibrating, but like it doesn't hurt, like at all. Like I don't understand why, but I mean, he's like shaking the high chair, trying to jump out. I have to hold him.
It's a
So
nightmare.
that was fun.
Let
Yeah,
us
no,
hear
it
it,
was
bro.
really
Wow.
bad. Oh no,
Yeah.
it looks bad when it looks bad when it grows out.
Yeah, and then
Nothing
show him
wrong with
pictures
some
when
long
he's
hair.
older and be like, you should have stayed still. Now you look stupid.
Have you learned your lesson now that you're 16? That's good parenting right there.
You
Hold
know, we
it.
gave you the Nazarite vow as a result of you
Yeah.
not wanting to get a haircut.
Deep track
all
right
our
there.
non-Christian friends are like, what?
Yeah.
Is that a Star Trek reference?
That's why it's a deep track.
So the other thing I wanted to get to, you know, Aaron, you talked about just like let dinosaurs be dinosaurs. I kind of
Yes.
feel the same way about what Disney's doing with the new Cruella movie, which I will probably go see, by the way. But they just came out with this new movie of like Cruella and her origin story, and like she's on, you know, I don't know the premise of it. I actually heard it was semi decent, but they're trying to explore who she is as a person and why she is the way she is, and like blah. Can we just have villains be villains? Is that crazy for me? Like Cruella's the perfect villain because she wants to kill puppies. Like talk about like the worst of the worst.
It's
Like
a very
I
unlikable move.
like I put an
Yeah.
article in our doc about like, you know, John Wick movies are perfectly acceptable as he's killing people, but his dog got shot, and that's the whole reason he went on this murdering spree. Like that's Cruella. She doesn't care. Poison him, drown him, bash him in the head. Like I don't care how you do
Stick
it. Do
him
it
in a
now is
stew.
her quote, right? Yeah. You haven't watched that movie, so you can't make a reference to
Sorry.
it yet.
No, I've seen that one. We're good.
You ever seen 101 Dalmatians?
No, the first Lord of the Rings.
Oh, I spaced out.
Wow.
No, I had a
Okay.
goldfish.
But anyways,
Ugh.
Quella's like the perfect villain because she just wants to kill puppies to wear them on her like
Yeah.
self as fashion.
And some
Like why
villains
do
just
we need
don't
more?
need an origin story.
Wait,
No.
but origin stories are so successful in movies like Joker. How many origin
Okay.
stories does he have?
Right, but
But
Joker's
also,
a villain that you can give him an origin story. He's
You-
worthy. I mean,
can
Cruella,
give him
I don't
more
know if
than
she's
one.
deserving. Right, Cruella, I don't think she's deserving of
I mean,
an origin
I think it
story.
really all depends on how this
Next
movie
we're gonna
goes.
have next we're gonna have an origin story for the hunter and the fox and the hound, and you know how he was abused as a kid, which is why he likes killing things. Like
We're gonna have
come
an
on.
origin story for Scar one day.
Yeah. The prequel don't they have prequels to that? I could be wrong. There's like Isn't there 3 Lion Kings and Lion King 1.5 and all sorts of different things?
I heard. I've never seen any of the Lion Kings, including the original. But
Wait, what?
It's a good movie. That's actually one of the few animated ones that I actually really like.
I never saw it as a kid, and I can't watch it at 28. I just can't.
No, you can watch it at 28.
No, I've tried. It's stupid.
It's Hamlet. It's Shakespeare. Just an animated.
It's a cartoon
Africa.
about lions. I don't care. I'm 28.
What's wrong with cartoons? What's your hate on cartoons?
Nothing's wrong with cartoons. It's watching a cartoon that's like incredibly targeted for kids. That like the only people that I know that like that movie that like it is because they grew up watching it, and it was like the movie they watched when they were a kid. It has no appeal to me. I don't want to watch it.
I know you don't like Disney. It's just because I'm a Disney
classics.
boy. I have fully admitted I'm a Disney boy.
I wasn't into that stuff. I was into like WWE.
That's fair. I wasn't allowed to watch WWE.
Anyways, what was I saying? What was I saying before that? Oh,
both are scripted.
The Lion King 1.5, I've heard, is the same plot and everything as the original. It's just from a perspective of Timon and Pumbaa.
That's correct. Yes.
Did I say that right?
Oh,
yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I've watched that one.
Anyways, I want to see the Cruella movie because I think origin stories for villains are cool because I think I've told you guys about this in our group chat is like horror and like feeling uncomfortable and getting into people's brains that are just really sadistic. I love that kind of stuff. Which is why I really like in college I used to like read up on like fan fiction about the Joker, because of how much I liked the character of the Joker and stuff like that. So I like origin stories for villains. I don't know about origin story for anything else. Not that I can even think of one right now, but
mind some backstories or just stories about people I find interesting. I just don't know if Cruella qualifies.
Yeah, like I don't think she qualifies.
Better Call Saul has been a really great backstory for Breaking Bad. And
he was a great character though. Bad.
Have you watched it at all though? Because it's not just about him.
Episodes. Yeah,
it's about like all the other villains and how they kind of relate.
Because they have Gus in there and Mike Ehrmantraut and all that.
Sorry, I've heard that is really good.
It is.
Better Call Saul is legit.
Bob Odenkirk, he's such a good actor. He's
hilarious.
Anywho,
we gotta get into it. We have to address it.
You lead off on this.
Just say it. Just say A, and everybody's gonna know what we're talking about.
Kyrie Irving.
Kyrie.
Did something happen?
Okay, so
break it down.
Obviously, do we even want to talk about the Celtics? Like this is the thing I struggle with basketball, anyways.
No,
right?
They're getting eliminated tonight, so we don't need.
Yeah, the Celtics are doo-doo. It's fine.
The drama in the sport has nothing to do with what's happening on the court. It's almost like we already know what's going to happen on the court. It's just everything else. And so, as always with everything else, when you have somebody like Kyrie, he is, of course, center stage of everything else. So, obviously, he, going into Boston, made a comment about the racism in Boston. So, that's like part one, is he made that comment. And then, obviously, he goes upon Boston. And, Aaron, you know the stats. You had wrote them out. But, like, him and Kevin Durant and
Harden, they combined for 104 points.
Oof.
Which is ridiculous.
3 guys. That's insane.
So they wiped the floor with the Celtics, right?
Yes.
Like this.
Yeah.
What was the final score of that game?
It was like 145 to like 120 something or something. Which they scored 145 points in a non-overtime game.
Yeah, I was about to say.
That's ridiculous.
Like, I don't know basketball well, but I feel like 127 points is a lot to lose. You scored 127 points and lost.
That's just how good the Nets offense
141 to 126. That's bad.
That's what it was.
That's crazy.
So bad.
They scored that many points in no overtime. That's just regulation.
That's that's destroying the take that defense wins championships, because we can let the other team score 127 points. We're just going to score 141.
But this is like the first or second round, right?
I know,
this is the second round, so
they won't be able to get away with that when they play like the Bucks or the Sixers.
No, it's the first round in the playoffs.
No, it is, but like later on. Yeah,
Yeah.
but later on, like when they play either the Bucks or the Sixers, they're going to need to play better defense.
Yeah.
So, anyways, the drama has nothing to do with what was happening on the court. We all know what was going to happen. It was either going to be a sweep or a courtesy sweep.
And they're
Which-
currently losing right now to the Nets in the second
Yeah.
quarter. So
Which is what we figured, right? So,
Right.
after that game of scoring 141 points, there's a video that surfaces of Kyrie like intentionally stomping on center court on the Celtic logo and then like wiping his foot and like stomping away, like very deliberately. It wasn't like, you know, he slipped or he slid his foot or whatever. Anybody that's seen it knows it looked obviously deliberate.
Yeah.
As he's walking out, some dingleberry Braintree boy wearing only a Garnett jersey. Like, talk about stereotypes. Like,
he really
21
fit everyone.
21 years old, named Cole, only wearing a Garnett jersey in a Rhode Island frat from Braintree. Probably had a little too much. Throws a half-empty water bottle at Kyrie. Misses him, by the way. And, of course, this whole thing has since blown up. That 21-year-old was supposed to go to court today, but I heard they delayed it. He's been in jail. They charged him with a felony. Like, he could get, like, 10 years in jail. Like, they're not messing around with it. So, obviously, they haven't posted his bail. So, this kid did it. When did this happen? Like, Saturday night? Was it
Sunday
Saturday
night.
night this happened? Sunday night?
Sunday.
So, he's been
Yeah,
in jail
Sunday.
ever since. So, what a poor... First of all, we can get into the whole ethics of throwing it, but... Like, what a even stupider move to do, because there's no judges that are in on Memorial Day. They're all out with their family.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
he's rotting in jail, and then they postponed it again today.
Mhm.
So he's not gonna get out of jail for another couple days, probably. If not, I don't think tomorrow or the day after, something like that. So
And from what I was reading, it seems that prison time can't be taken off the table, even with a plea deal. Like, the best plea deal he can get is like 3 years and a ton of probation.
right, but he can surf that on weekends or something like that. I'm sure
True.
they can,
Yeah.
and do all that stuff. You know,
That's crazy that he's going to get 3 years of jail at least for throwing a bottle.
so that'll tie into. Let me jump to this question now. Like,
Uh.
Aaron, I knew you wanted to ask this, but like, as far as what are we gonna do about fans, right?
Well, yeah, because there's been, especially in the playoffs, there's been an uptick and stuff. Because before this happened, this one was probably even worse. Westbrook got hurt, was limping to the locker room, and a fan just like threw popcorn at it. Like,
yeah,
Westbrook
I
didn't even
saw
do
that.
anything. He was just hurt and going to the locker room, and fans just threw popcorn at him. And it's like, what the heck? And then just last night at the same series, a fan like ran onto the court, had to get tackled and stuff like that. So, and there were a couple other things that happened in the regular season. So it's been something that's been kind of popping up. I don't know why. It's been coming to the forefront more in the NBA, but it's definitely a problem that they're having. I don't know what the solution would be to that, though. I don't know how do you deal with that?
Don't you think charging a 21-year-old a felony to send the message, because it's
That could
currently
do it.
national news,
Yeah.
and he might serve up to 3 years in jail, or up to 10, probably less. But you know, obviously, his effectively. Do you think this kid's gonna do anything dumb like that again? I mean, he's gonna have a felony like on his
Crazy.
record for the rest of
I
his
mean,
life.
but
Like,
hey,
doesn't
that
send
will send a message. That'll send a message.
Because I don't think there's any good solutions that like prohibit fans. Just imagine going to the Garden, right? And there's like this huge like chicken wire net that stops you from going to the court. It might keep them safe, but like, do you want to watch the game through chicken wire?
No,
No.
not
no.
a basketball
No.
game.
Not a
Mm.
basketball game. It's bad enough that like in hockey you have the netting so that the puck doesn't fly and like knock you out at 200 miles an hour, or in
Yeah.
baseball
Because that
with
has
foul
killed
balls.
people.
Yeah, no, like I get it from that safety perspective of protecting the fans, and certainly there should be something said about protecting players from fans, but I don't know if there's any like in-game solution other than finding these people, arresting
have
them,
to
and charging
Bring a
them.
hammer on them. That's the.
'Cause
That's
I
what you have to do.
remember going back to like a kid watching Fenway Park games, and there's fan interference or whatever, and the fan gets ejected, or you know, he spills. Wasn't there one where a fan like got drunk and spilled a beer on a Yankee player at Fenway? Like, didn't that happen? I forget exactly
Yep.
who it was, but you know, obviously he gets ejected, and then you find out that like he's banned from Fenway for the rest of his life. Does that really send a message, or does being in jail for 3 years send the message? Like, I don't know.
See, my take on this whole thing is with protecting the players and sending a message. Yeah, you can send a message, but when you're like 15 beers deep at a game, all stops go out the window. You're gonna do what you're gonna do. Yeah, I'm gonna be what I think would help, and this is the Karen response, is limiting alcohol consumption at games.
Don't they already do that though? Can't you not buy alcohol after the 7th inning?
Yes. So well, that's just because they shut it down. They close up. Like they're just closed. Like they don't do it for. I don't think they do it for reasons.
Though?
So like I know that I know for a fact there's a limit on the amount of drinks you can buy from one stand at most stadiums. You could implement like a punch card thing, to where you have to provide the punch card that you provided your ID with, and if you don't provide that, then you don't get alcohol.
Right, but couldn't you like say that you're the designated driver, so that means that's 7 more punches or whatever it is for everybody you're driving with? So like if you're driving with 3 people, or you're the driver, right? And there's 3 other people, and say you can have, let's call it 9 alcoholic beverages. Doesn't everybody else get 3 more because
9?
you're drinking?
They limited it at
I'm just
4.
using whole numbers for simple. For I don't drink at
9.
all. Like 9 can be divided by 3.
Oh,
3
sorry.
times. That's just
Sorry.
simple
My
math.
bad.
Like I'm not trying to like get this complicated here.
So
Let's call it 6, and everybody who's drinking gets 2 more drinks because he goes up and gets them and gives them to his guys.
Yeah, 2 more drinks isn't going to get you belligerent. Walking around the stadium for 20 minutes between halftime and going to each beer stand and getting a drink, that could land you like 15 drinks in a game. That's too much.
Yeah, I don't know if you're ever going to be able to limit that.
If the same cashier sees you, they will deny you. I know for a fact that it can happen.
I don't know. I feel like that's a side issue, though. We're getting sidetracked here. Aaron, did you have anything else to say about?
It's a good point.
About this whole fan thing. What was your idea? Did you have any ideas?
As far as like solutions and stuff for everything. The only thing I could think of is what they've done with this. I wasn't expecting them to drop the hammer on this kid that much though. When I heard it was a felony and he's gonna get at least 3 years of prison, I was like, holy freaking crap.
Yeah.
But more of mine, I wanted to talk about just the Kyrie stuff because I know we had a really heated group chat discussion about that.
I just don't understand why you like the guy. Like, it doesn't make sense. This guy is
first of all, I don't know.
He's a fraud.
I don't get. Oh, hold on. We'll get to that. What do you mean by a fraud?
He's a fraud. He's a complete fraud. He everything he says contradicts itself at some point, or he just talks in circles. Like, he's a great baller. I'm so glad he plays really good basketball. Tom Hanks is a phenomenal actor. I don't want to hear Tom Hanks talk. I don't want him to ruin it for me. Like, at the minute Kyrie Irving gets a mic, it's super annoying.
What's wrong with Tom Hanks?
He is like cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, like crazy off the deep end elitist Hollywood. I'm not going to get into the politics side of it, but like just that far that way. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got Greek citizenship, so he didn't get busted for pedophilia.
I wasn't going to go there, but that, yes. If you believe the conspiracy theories, that would be part of it. Yeah.
Okay. Fair. I don't know too much about Tom Hanks, so that was more.
He's America's grandpa. Question. I know that.
That's just. but my point is, like, I can watch Saving. I had it on yesterday. I can watch Saving Private Ryan every day. It's great. I can. I watch Forrest Gump start to finish.
What has Kyrie done that's so that angers you, Eric?
Oh, let me roll out the list. Okay, where would you like me to start?
Yeah, no, I'm really. What did he do to personally harass you, Eric? I want to hear this.
Okay, he's just annoying. Like, it's
what
not.
Did he do to personally annoy you?
Eric Picard, you're stupid and I hate you because you like Thanksgiving. No, he didn't say that. Like, he doesn't know me from Adam. I don't know him from Adam because
he said Thanksgiving.
No, that's just no. Really, the thing that he did kind of cuts out my favorite holiday. A holiday where a fat guy like me can just eat.
Why do you feel offended by that?
Okay,
because it's something he likes. That's why people get offended. I don't know where you're going with this.
I'm really confused with the confusion here. Something I like, he said to F off about. That would offend me, yes.
That's offensive, yeah.
I'm confused why that doesn't click for you.
Like, why
it's annoying for him. No, it's annoying. So when you're in the public light like he is, you have to be conscientious of the things you say at the mic, and he clearly is, but in a way that purposely ticks people off. And I'm guilty of buying into that. But that being said, this is what I kept saying is, man, The way to watch Kyrie is to watch him play and then turn the freaking TV off or switch the radio when he gets to the mic, because you just know he's going to say something for the sole purpose of annoying you. Like that's
I've
not
never been. I've been perplexed, but never
not even to
annoyed by
mention.
anything
And
he
I
said.
thought Stephen A. Smith hit this on the head. Stephen A. Smith, who isn't afraid to call, I think he called Tim Tebow signing like white privilege or something like that. He's not afraid to call out racism for what it is, whether you agree with his takes or not. Stephen A. Smith said, Boston people don't hate you because they're racist. They hate you because you promised them on their televisions in their stadium at their meeting of their season ticket holders that you were signing back up with them, and then you went back on the promise for more money.
That's what I don't get is how does okay, he did that. When he did that, I could care less. That doesn't affect my life.
But the problem is, Aaron, is that you're
He's not my employee.
This is where we go back to is like you're a fan of players. And even though I'm not a fan of basketball, like if I had to pick a basketball team, it'd be the Celtics. So like I root for the team. So I'm invested in the team. So like this is the thing I talked about even with like Red Sox players. When Johnny Damon won the World Series with the Red Sox, I freaking love that Caveman Damon, and he had the heckler behind home plate. Do you remember that? And like he was freaking part of that team, and then he signs with the Yankees, and he shows up at Fenway Park in pinstripes, clean shaven, and you know what everybody did? They booed. That is part of the fan experience, and I'm okay with being a fan invested in a team and loving a character. And part of sports is that character leaves, and then he signs with an enemy, or he leaves for bad reasons. And I'm not talking about people that leave for good reasons or
Players,
reasons
when
I
they
understand.
sign to a team, they're not having the it's different. Like when you're a fan, you're like, I'm a ride or die. The players don't have that. They're going where they're getting paid. So you can't.
Some
put
of
that
them
same
do.
level,
Some of them don't.
You can't put that same level of loyalty or whatever a fan has onto a player. They're
No,
not
but
thinking
I'm
the
the
same
fan.
way.
So like, why wouldn't I have that kind of loyalty? That's part of the fan
But
experience.
then you're putting expectations on the player that the player never put on themselves.
Yes, I'm a fan of the team. Correct.
Wait,
That's
but
what I
what's
do. Yes.
Aaron? What's wrong with him doing that? Like, why is that wrong? He's
For what, Damon to leave?
no, even what he's saying about Kyrie.
Anybody.
Because then why are you gonna like get mad at someone who they never had those expectations themselves? Why are you gonna get mad at that?
He clearly did, because he said he would sign back with the team. That was the expectation he communicated. This is what I mean.
Goodness.
He gets in front of a mic and he acts like a buffoon.
So that's acting like a buffoon.
I mean, didn't he say the earth was flat? Like, all respect goes out the window when you say that in my book.
Yes. Am I saying everything he's saying? Like, there's things he says that perplexes me. It doesn't get me mad.
Right.
I just want to know why you I understand you like his game. Why do you like him as a person? Like, why do you buy into this? And I'm not asking to be a.
It's not that I'm not saying that like I like him as a person. It's like he's done nothing to anger me.
Why does he interest you? Is maybe a better question.
I think he is I think he's a phenomenal basketball player and very entertaining to watch. Two, I think he's a guy who's just honestly trying to search for. This is gonna get kind of deep. I think he's searching for truth and meaning in some way, and he's genuinely someone who's curious about that, and he's trying to figure things out. That's
that
what
part I think is cool. Like, I'm all for that.
I mean, he's just trying to figure out his place in the world, what ultimately really matters. Hope he finds Jesus one day. But that's that's the vibe I get from Kyrie. Does he say
the vibe I got.
Perplex me? Yeah, like the Earth being flat. The Earth isn't flat, right? But I wasn't mad or annoyed at him for saying that.
No, me neither. I just think he's stupid for saying it.
Yeah, he's annoying. Like, it's not personal. Like, I personally hate the guy. Like, I don't. I just think he's annoying. That's what I keep going back to. Like, there's nothing personal in the sense that like I personally don't like him, and if I saw him on the street, I would like hit him over the head or like tell him he sucks or throw a water bottle at him or whatever. You know,
right.
I would never do that. Like, I don't know. That's one, not my nature, and two,
now if
like,
this was a guy like
personally, I don't like the guy, but
like Pac-Man Jones or whoever who like beats women and beats his wife or something, like, okay, that annoys me. Like, that's someone who's like you know, they're harming women, they're beating people and stuff like that. It's like that's something where it's like, no, like you can't do that.
Yeah.
But Kyrie hasn't done anything like that. I mean, he says perplexing things, so I don't know. And then the
he's
stomping on the logo.
He's just a villain. He just is. He's a villain.
I don't see him as a villain.
Hey, you want the origin story. I know. Like, you want the backstory of why he's a villain.
Stomping on the logo, to me, does nothing for me.
Boss
like
move.
when Tio did it on the star, didn't think of it. Like, oh, wow, okay, that's a
So here's the
baller
thing
move right there.
here's the thing I will say about that. Like again, two things. One is like when you do that, you have to expect that people are going to continue to boo for you. And I know he did it after everybody was booing for him, so like it's his message back. I'm a little cooled off about
Yeah,
that.
during the
But
pregame, they were booing him like the whole time.
Every
as
time he
was
got the
warming up.
ball, they were booing him.
but
Yeah.
like I want to see the Celtics respond to that, and I think it's worrying to me that they won't because they like him, and that's fine that you like him, but I don't know. Like I would like to see some ownership of the Celtics and from like the perspective of this is our team, and you know we're going to respond to somebody because you know in football someone does that to you or spits on your logo or whatever. Like whether you like the franchise in like big broad terms or not, like you don't let someone do that to your field. You
Right.
you have respect for your
Like
field, you
when
have respect for your
Juju
teammates.
did that, and I had no problem with Juju doing his little stupid TikTok dances. Like, okay, he's doing it for social media and stuff, but the teams, to their credit, they saw that and they're like, okay,
Yeah, you're
all
not doing
right,
that on my field,
and
which
they
I
handed it to
want.
them.
Yeah. And honestly, see, I don't like those things not because they're doing it and they're trying to, you know, whatever. If that's part of your thing, my theory is when you do those things, you're like you're setting yourself up for failure. When you do a TikTok dance on the other team's logo, you're asking to tick that team off, and bad things could
And
happen.
it bit him in the butt that game because
It totally did.
they destroyed.
They got
They went
rolled.
for him. They went for him personally too.
Yeah.
They were leveling him the whole game.
When
But
you
the thing,
stomp on someone's logo, you are asking, you are going in, you are knowingly going into a hornet's nest, and then you poke it.
and then you drop 39 on their heads and destroy them.
But they
promptly.
did that before, right? Like
Yeah.
he did that, and then he stomped on the logo. So like I don't know. I feel like there are three separate issues here. They're stopping on the logo, which if he wants to do that, it annoys me. It just does and it's part of his persona. But I would like to see the team respond, and it worries me that they don't. And I think there's like almost an undertone there, which worries
Well,
me.
they like him. Like
You
the
want to know
Celtics
why
players still
too?
like him.
You want to know who said this? This is what I've been gearing up for.
What's up?
Ready for this? This came on the radio like a week and a half ago or something like that. You want to know? I'm not going to tell you. Said I'm going to make you guess. I think that we take those kinds of things seriously. This person said. I never heard of any of that from any player that I've ever played with in my 26 years in Boston. I never heard that before from Kyrie, and I talked to him quite a bit. So I don't know. As far as I'm concerned, it doesn't matter. We're just playing basketball. Players can say what they want. That was somebody in Boston in reference to racism in Boston. Any guesses on who said that?
You said how many years? You said it was in his 26 years.
26 years.
So he's an old dude. Oh, is it Bird?
No.
Oh, okay. So he's a former player.
Wait,
Is he still in the organization?
Is it Celtics
He
player?
is.
Freaking A, who would that be?
Wait, is it a basketball player?
Former basketball player.
Oh, okay.
Ainge?
all right.
Danny Ainge.
Danny Ainge. That's the only person on that of those that
Danny
meets those qualifications.
Danny Ainge said over the broadcasting radio of the Boston Celtics that he has never heard any problem of racism in Boston and that Kyrie never told him about it and that it's a non-issue.
Interesting. He never heard
So-
any racism stuff there.
So let me ask you this, Aaron. Coming from Western Mass, we've talked about this before. Do you
Yeah.
get a kind of a racist vibe out of the let's just call it the 495 belt, like that area? Specifically, though, Boston.
In Boston?
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't live in the city.
We've
I don't
talked
know
about this,
too-
though. Like,
I
the
do
very
think
real
in the
thing.
city of Boston, though, I mean, you do have a lot of people. It's not everyone. I'm not, again, but just before we say this is not a blanket statement about all of Boston.
Boston is
All right.
racist.
But there is a decent amount of hostility and, yes, racism towards particularly like African American people in sports, and other players of opposing teams who've come in, especially in baseball, have mentioned this
Oh, yeah.
several times.
Yeah. We actually
And
know
in
somebody.
NFL, actually.
We actually know somebody. I remember we were commenting on something, Aaron, you and I specifically, and Tyler, you know
Yeah.
her too. And she said, her words, person of color, as a person of color, she has experienced racism in the greater, and she lived north of
Right.
Boston by like an hour in a way that she hadn't experienced anywhere else.
It is a reality in Boston.
Which is different than like other parts of the state, is what I was driving at. Because like I know obviously, Aaron, you grew up in urban Springfield, which is
Yeah.
completely different from where I grew up in Western Mass. But like
Right.
I don't know. We didn't, as I've said before on the air, like we didn't care. Like we didn't care about who you were. Like we picked on the little East Hampton boys, which was the gang of East Hampton, not because of their ethnicity, but because it was like 5 people in a Honda Civic that thought they were a gang in a town of 15,000 people. Like it was just laughable. Like that was the laughable part. It had nothing to do with their race or their nationality or like who they
Right.
were or what they were. It was just, I don't know. We didn't care.
You're poor. No, I'm just kidding.
You think you're a gang in Podunk, East Hampton, Massachusetts?
Yeah.
No, you're not. Stop
Please.
it.
Yeah. Go swing by Springfield. See how long that lasts.
I know, right?
You know, it kind of like blows my mind too that Boston is like known now for how racist the fans are. Sorry, I mean, I don't want to. I also don't want to blanket statement.
Not a blanket statement.
For how racist some fans can be. You know, you go out to places in like the Midwest and stuff. Like I'm going to Kauffman Stadium in 2 weeks in Kansas City. There's probably not a lot of people screaming out the N-word at players out there, but you'd expect it out here, and you wouldn't expect it somewhere like Boston, where there's this like massive demographic of so many different people in races and ethnicities, and it's just not a place you would expect there to be that much racism.
Plus, Boston might be one of the most progressive cities in America.
Right, and that's
and educated.
You know, for Boston, to me too, is one of those places that's handled progressiveness in a very good way. Because like I personally think so, because like not to rag on California, but like some of the ideas out there that they have just like don't work in society. It just doesn't make much sense. But I feel like Boston and the greater Boston area, and like I went to a very liberal high school, you know, I just think it's they've handled it well, and they've taught the kids to be better than that. And it just surprises me that that area is home and known for how bad the fans can be towards people of color. So it just annoys me being from there. And I wish it would change. And, you know, all the stuff that I haven't heard a lot of stuff that Kyrie has said about the racism in Boston. I really can't quote him. I don't think I've even seen a clip of him talking about it, but I know he has. And I think that that's something that we should all take seriously. And I don't know, try and...
What does it say that Danny Ainge doesn't take it seriously?
Right, then that's what I was getting to.
I can't believe he said that.
Is to turn
There's no way that's true.
I think turning a blind eye to it is worse than being the offender. In some cases, not all cases, but in some cases, I really do think that that's sometimes worse. And for the GM of the Celtics to be like on a mostly 99% black team, yeah, that's stupid. Why would you say that? Why would you just blindly ignore that?
So another reason to hashtag
fire Danny.
Fire Danny.
I actually think that might get him fired. Like, truthfully, he's wearing a black eye right now. Like,
that's a bad look. I can't believe when you said it was horrible. I was like,
so
ooh.
This whole idea of like Kyrie stomping on the Celtics logo and then the Celtics supporting him in it, and then you hear that Danny said that. Couldn't you just put those two pieces together? Like,
you can see the team does not line up with Danny.
No, they're like, you know what? We'll let Kyrie stomp on our logo.
We're gonna leave you on an island.
That way too. Yeah, seriously.
Yikes! Yeah, that's
It's a
crazy.
really bad look,
that.
Especially when you're already in the hot seat because your team can't win.
So I just wanted to get to this thing too about throwing the water bottle. Do you think the kid that threw the water bottle was a racist though?
No, I think he was drunk.
I think so too.
Unfortunately, I think I sent you guys a screenshot because we talked about it actually before that article came out, that the media would see this, especially because of the remarks Kyrie made about racism. Even though this kid probably isn't a racist and he was just drunk, they're gonna spin it as like he just pretty much basically confirmed what Kyrie was saying about the city, that it's hostile, and it's like, oh shoot, it's like
the worst timing possible. Yeah,
it really
only certain parts of the media though, and certainly it's the big ones, like the big heavy hitters, the national news people. They're catching on it because it's gonna sell. I would say that most of the local guys that I've listened to and read so far have said that, you know, obviously, unfortunately, so this is the other thing, is like, because of the track record of Kyrie saying things off the cuff, like he's not. I want to take him seriously about the racism because I think it's legit. But if no one had ever said that and then Kyrie said that going ahead of this game, you know what most people would have reacted to? Oh boy, here we go.
Right.
You know, and I think that hurts his credibility. So going back full circle to like why he annoys me, we take a serious issue, and it almost is like it loses a smidget of credibility to some people because Kyrie's the one to say it, and Kyrie is not a credible source because of all the kooky things that have come bursting forth out of his mouth orifice. Like, come
Yeah,
on, man.
that's a
Does that make sense?
okay. You got me with that one.
So and,
That's
and so on top of that,
way
like
way to weave your web and connect that. Well done, sir. I
so
don't
on
have a
top of that,
response.
hang on, I'm not done. So on top of that, this whole throwing a water bottle thing, yeah, don't do that. But like, is Durant really the right guy to go out there and say? Durant probably is, but for him to say respect the game and don't throw things, like again, this is a guy talking about Kyrie who just stomped on someone else's logo, which is a sign of disrespect, and who got fined 3 years ago for throwing things. Like, I'm sorry, but Kyrie is the worst possible guy when it comes to these things to invoke changes simply because he doesn't have credibility in most people's eyes. Now, in a vacuum, someone throwing a water bottle, yeah, we probably need to work on that. Racism obviously needs to work on that.
Yeah.
But like, Kyrie to say these things and then for other people who are outspoken about racism, like Stephen A. Smith to say basically to Kyrie, shut up, no one cares what you have to say. Like, it's just horrible looks. It's just bad.
Yeah.
Elsewhere in the NBA.
I love you, Aaron, and I'm
really
glad we
quick.
worked that out together.
No, that was a good last point. I can't refute that. So well done, sir. Took that whole segment, but you got me. And last thing is in the West, the Suns have tied the Lakers.
Oh, dude, heating up.
Which is pretty crazy. And they're in trouble, the Lakers, because Anthony Davis went down with a groin injury, and he's questionable for the next game. Might not play. They don't have AD. They will lose the series. You can bring that to the bank. LeBron will not be able to do it on his own. The Suns are a really good team, especially with Chris Paul and Devin Booker. LeBron will need help. Like, they're too good of a team for him to take on himself. So that was the only other worthwhile stuff in the NBA.
That's gonna be I think that's gonna be a really cool series to watch. The end.
Yes, the Suns are a good team. They're fun to watch. Like, they're very well organized. They're top 10 defense, top 10 offense. So they're no pushover, and they have the second best record in the league. So they can play ball.
Yeah.
You need a healthy team to take them on, and right now the Lakers just aren't. Because Davis is hurt yet again, which is proving to be quite the problem in his career.
Uh-oh.
All right. Well, moving on. This is a cool story. I know we just had a talk on racism. Now we're going another kind of serious topic here. But earlier this week, Naomi Osaka, who is a tennis player, I don't think we've ever talked about tennis yet on here, but she is currently ranked the #1 women's player in the world. Very young. She's only 23. She broke onto the scene at 18 with her first major victory. But she went to the French Open again as the favorite to win. And right before it started, obviously all the players are obligated to go to press conferences, just like in most professional sports. And she opted to stay out. She said, I can't because of mental health reasons, because the questions that they ask me, they make me doubt myself, because naturally people will ask questions based on something negative that happened, and it really messes with her. And she said, I can't deal with that before I got to play, so I'm going to sit out. Started up this massive controversy. The French Open, the committee was furious at her for this. They said, well, you have to do this or you can pack your bags. Some players came to her side supporting her, saying, no, mental health is serious in sports. Like, this is a good thing that she's voicing coming out against this. Other players came out saying, well, it's part of the gig. A lot of fans and stuff have said, you're getting paid millions. You need to get out there. You need to do this. Eventually, she walked. She isn't going to participate in the French Open. And I know because I've seen her on some talk shows like with Ellen DeGeneres, and when she was 18 and won her first title, she's very shy. It was honestly, it was very awkward to watch because she did not feel comfortable. She's a kid. Like, all this fame and stardom hit her as a kid, and you could tell she did not want to be there. And so she does have these issues. So it's legitimate. I know she's not just making this up. So my question for you guys, and we can discuss, is like this idea of mental health in pro sports, because Dak Prescott mentioned this last year, how he struggled with depression and suicide. Simone Biles a couple of years ago talked about the pressures of going to the media and dealing with that as a young person. But do these people have a point? Is this something that actually needs to be talked about?
Yeah,
right now?
100%. Yeah. So, the thing that bothers, so I don't know much about this. I don't know much about, who was the other one? Simone Biles, did you say?
Simone Biles, the gymnast.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. I read a lot of stuff when Dak Prescott said
Yep.
that he struggles with those things, and was very transparent and just got rolled on social media because of it.
Oh, he did.
And that bothers me because, and it bothers me a lot. I've dealt with mental health, not personally, just people around me, mental health issues like my entire life. And sports players, and you said this before, Aaron, sports players are people. And for somebody to say your mental health doesn't matter because you make millions is the most shallow statement a person can make ever.
I agree wholeheartedly with that.
Because money, as we all know, will not buy you happiness. And you know, everybody's always like, yeah, but it'll buy me a Lamborghini, and who doesn't smile in a Lamborghini? Well, there's a good chance that somebody in a Lamborghini might go home and kill themselves because they're that depressed. That's a very real situation. And we do not need to lose more people to suicide because we're not taking mental health seriously. And mental health is a huge issue in the world, and especially in our country with the state that it's in right now. To not take mental health seriously is the biggest mistake we can do as a society. It's not the biggest, but it's one of the biggest mistakes
we have a
can
lot
make.
of issues.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But it's one of the biggest mistakes we can make as a society is to not take mental health seriously. Because how incredibly alone do you think those people feel when Dak Prescott comes out and says that he's had suicidal thoughts, and people are like, whatever, you make millions of dollars, go buy therapy, blah 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 blah. Where are we going? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me that somebody could say that with a clean conscience.
They can't because they're behind a computer screen.
Exactly.
Keyboard warrior.
Like the trick is, if you're saying those things, you might post something about it, but if I were you, I would turn off comments. Let somebody post it for you and then only read you the good comments. There's got to be, if you're going to go out there as a celebrity or as like a public figure and say you've been struggling with anything on this, you could talk about how the sky is blue and people are going to argue with you because there's just Twitter bots out there that do that stupid stuff. So I don't know. I do think if you're going to post it on social media, you have to understand that you have to tune out social media too. That's a whole another issue too, like mental health being taken seriously, but also teaching people how to deal with their own mental health.
Okay, so that's the thing I was going to get into as well, is you have somebody like Dak Prescott, this tennis player, and the gymnast. I just completely forgot their names, so I didn't say them, my bad. But so
Naomi and Simone.
Yes, thank you. So you have these people who have fans, obviously, and have a huge platform, and they're coming out and being transparent about their mental health. Who else do you think is going to want to seek help and try and better themselves, or find a way to not deal with their mental health, but a way to get through life with mental health issues? That they're going to affect people that also have those same issues. And the thing that bothers me the most is, there's probably, I'm looking at a statistic right now that 1 in 20 Americans suffer from some sort of mental health issue. That's a lot of people. And so the people that are saying, well, you have a lot of money, mental health's not a really big deal, or mental health isn't a real issue, it's blah, 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 blah. The person saying that probably has somebody close to them that's suffering from some sort of mental health problem. And to just put that to the side, and what would you feel like if somebody that you knew that dealt with mental health and you told them that it doesn't matter and they went and killed themselves? Like, why are we saying that it's not an issue when it is a real issue? It just bothers me. I get so heated up about this stuff because it just bothers me a lot.
Yeah, I won't rehash, Tyler, what you have to say, because I agree with you almost in lockstep. I live in an interesting area where there's a lot of bridges, and those bridges, there's actually a really cool walk over the Hudson, and it's an old train track that they turned into a bridge, but there's not fencing all the way up. So there's a spot that you can just, and people have. And so there's actually a mental health emergency thing you can pull if you feel like someone's doing that and they get the authorities involved. I live in an area where people struggle with mental health, so they jump off of bridges because there's famous bridges that you can jump off of and die. And I think the insult to injury is that not all of them do, and so they're perfectly content with ending their life, and then they get dragged out of the river and they're like permanently, broken but still alive. So now
Yeah.
they have to deal with their body and their mental health all together. So I would agree with you, Tyler. The one thing I will just add, and we can move on from this, is I do think there needs to be some balance as far as if you are someone who plays on a team and there is media availability. Like I don't mean to say it's part of the gig in the sense that suck it up, it's part of the gig, but it is part of being in sports that you are going to be asked questions. And I certainly understand, and I would agree that perhaps it has gone too far in the direction of, we need to have media availabilities for every player, or every player we can think of or want whenever we feel like it, and the players and the stars get no say in that. They show up, we put a mic in front of them, and they answer the questions whether they heard or not, and that's just part of the gig. Suck it up. Like, I think that's too far that way, but I don't want it to get so far the other way that, like, if Dak Prescott is a captain of the Dallas Cowboys, and certainly he's struggling with things, and everybody says that he is, I think that the Cowboys should have some power and say, we're not going to put Dak in front of Mike right now. He's doing great right now. He's doing great with the team, but the goal would be to eventually get him in front of a mic again and be able to answer questions, win or lose, and not have that affect him so much, right?
Yeah.
Like, I think that's eventually the goal. Like,
Yeah,
I
you
don't
want
want
to
it.
equip and help them heal and equip them then to be
Yeah.
able to
I just
handle
don't
that.
want it to get to, well, I'm having a bad mental health day, and then you don't have any, because I don't think any of these guys anybody really wants to be in front of a mic and answer tough questions on live TV. Like, I don't think Tom Brady wanted to sit there for 45 minutes and answer questions about deflated footballs.
Right.
Like, nobody wants to get that, or how many famous press conferences are there where people just fly off the handle because they're sick and tired of the pressure? Or how many stories are there? Terry Francona, I was mentioning him earlier, of people who just get addicted to, like, anything they can to get themselves in the right mental state, or what they feel like they're self-medicating, and it's a bad idea, but
Yeah.
obviously to get them so they can handle that pressure. Like, I think that needs to be treated and certainly addressed, but I don't want it to be addressed so much that we never hear from these people ever again and they just play the game and walk off the field. Like, I think there has to be, when you are in the public's eye in these sports, there has to be some sort of opportunity for you to use your platform and speak. And certainly if you're not in a good mental health, I don't want it. It can't be forced, but it has to be, there has to be balance, is all I'm saying.
I just think, and I'll this is the end of what I think, because I don't want to get upset about it again. If you're in a bad mental health state, this is kind of a joke, but there's nothing stopping you from pulling a Marshawn Lynch and just saying, I'm just here so I don't get fined to every question that is asked of you, because the questions will stop coming and you'll be out of there pretty soon.
Bill Belichick is a famous, he doesn't want to answer the question.
We're on
so
to Cincinnati.
Yeah, we just got to do better next time. You just got to execute.
I haven't watched the film yet.
You just got to.
We didn't perform
execute
in all three phases of the game: offense, defense, special
Yeah,
teams.
obviously they have great players on their team. So
we got to coach better. We got to play better.
Guys, this is like spot on exactly how a Bill Belichick press conference goes.
Everyone, win or lose,
cliches.
every single one, because he says about, like, he literally trains guys. Like, the mental health problem in New England isn't that the media; it's that you have to work with Bill.
Well, honestly, it drove Gronkowski to, like. It drove him crazy.
Drove him to tears, saying football wasn't fun anymore. And that big guy needs to have fun.
Yeah.
Basically, who's saying Bill's not fun.
Bill's not fun.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of fun, I'm sorry. Do you have anything else?
No. We can move. I was transitioning, so it's all good.
Tyler, fun. Red Sox Yankees coming up this weekend.
All right, dude. Dude, let me tell you, you got me upset again. Whoever made the schedule this year needs to be fired. How in the world are we in June and have not played the Yankees yet?
I'm okay with it.
No,
really?
I'm not okay with it. The second or third series of the game every year since I've been alive has been, well, I don't actually fact check this, but most of the time is the Yankees. I can't remember a single season. I can't remember a single season where we did not play the Yankees in April. I do not understand why we haven't played them until now. It doesn't make any sense, and it makes me really mad, because all you're doing is putting a wet blanket on the flame that is the Red Sox-Yankees rivalry.
It's been pretty wet recently, bro.
What?
The past couple of years since the World
What
Series,
do you
kind of
mean? We had the Joe Kelly incident where it
How many
started
years
a
ago was
huge,
that?
massive brawl that was 2018.
3 years ago. It's been wet the past few years.
It hasn't though, because all right, there's gonna be certain areas or a certain amount of time where both teams can't be good, and that has been the past 2 years for the Red Sox. Now they're good again. Why did we schedule it so late when
Don't you mess with my schedule.
I just
Been like this since 1955.
all right, dude. You're the most old timey person I know, so stop.
That's not true. You better cut that out right now.
I almost called you a boomer.
I was just listening to the new Justin Bieber album actually this week, so
Oh, great.
A good one. It's a good album.
Anyways,
It is a
I'm
good
very
album.
sorry. Back on the Yankees Red Sox. I'm very excited because it's the second and third place team first base in the AL East. I have no idea how Tampa Bay is still in first
Wait,
place.
Yankees moved up to third place?
Yeah, they've been
Yankees
cruising.
are on a Yankees
Wow,
are doing
man, I
all
didn't know
right.
Red Sox got
and-
had their doors blown off last night.
I know,
by
but the Astros. Astros are a good team this year,
Ugh.
which
Oh, wow,
stinks.
they
but
aren't far. Jeez, I didn't realize.
no,
that.
it's a really actually close race in the American League East. Anyways, I'm really excited for Yankees Red Sox because I hate the Yankees and
Yeah.
I really want to sweep them, and it's probably not going to happen. As
I just want to win the series. That's what I do.
I'd
I
love
wanna
to win the series. I don't. Is it in Fenway or is it in Yankee Stadium?
I think it's in Fenway. It's supposed to rain all weekend too,
which is
so
even
I don't
great.
know how that's gonna happen.
I'm just really excited because it hasn't happened yet. I'm usually second or third series in the season. We've already seen the matchup, which maybe has built up a little bit of tension in me, and it's going to make it more fun to watch probably.
Yes, that's okay. Build it up. It's like seeing when the Patriots had good rivalries with Indianapolis, and you didn't see
those
them
are
until
such
like
good games.
November, and all the kinks in both teams or Denver
Or the playoffs.
all the kinks are worked out, and the teams are firing on all cylinders, and you kind of know what each team is, and now they face each other. Yeah, I'm okay with that.
All right, you're gonna
Ian
get
Manning
point.
versus Ty Law. Oh, love those.
Oh, those are the good
Such
ones.
great
All
games.
right, you got a good point. It's okay.
My turn to be ticked off. The Bruins
Uh-oh.
lost last night, and it really, really made me upset.
Yeah, you
So I
sent
got
those angry faces all over.
I
the
was
place.
so mad. So I got up at 4:50 this morning to go to the gym. I did a new workout, so I wanted to get up a little bit earlier. You'd be proud of me, Aaron. I did like air squats and stuff, and I can't currently walk. I have noodle legs.
Look at you doing
So-
dude, king of exercises, the squats.
So yeah, I woke up. That was my first day doing this new thing, and it
Good for you.
gives you a little preview, and it said quads, squats, and I'm like, oh boy, here we go, great way. But anyways, I stayed up till like 11 o'clock watching this game that I thought, the Bruins had me all geeked up on Saturday. Pasternak got the hat trick, and like the fans were in it, and I just the call of the game and just everything. I was feeling it, like a good baseball game or a good hockey game or a good football game or a good race. Like I was feeling it, like I was in it. And then Monday happened, and I just felt like the second period got away from them. I thought their defense had some issues. Tuca's now like hurt, and they thought he might not even play in the third period. Lazan is a liability, and he gave up this. He tried to pass the puck in the neutral zone. It clinked off Coyle's skate because, even Bruce Cassidy, their head coach, said he didn't look up when he passed the puck. He just passed it, and it clinked off his skate. And then you had a breakaway in overtime. And once it's a breakaway, like the goalie can't do much on that. Like they have they have to guess, and it's gonna happen. Like one of them's gonna be right. And in that case, the breakaway was right and Tuca was wrong, and they lost 4-3. Especially after they were down. They got up 1 goal last night. Coyle shot an absolute crazy good goal, and then they get down 3-2 off of horrible penalties. One was a bad call, but the other one, I don't know how Pasternak fell on the goalie. Like whether it was intentional or not, in hockey, you fall on the goalie, it's 2 minutes for interference. So like every time their penalty kill wasn't that good, so they felt like I'm just verbal diarrhea. Like I was just angry. Like everything about that game it was everything I love about sports. It was all the ups and downs and holding on to the edge of your seat and like cheering and being upset at the same time. And then at the end, I just only going to get 4 hours of sleep tonight, and I'm not even happy about it. Like, I can't go to bed and go, they won, dang it. No, I went to bed going, why?
I just waste. I'm
Why did
gonna
I
feel
invest so
miserable
much
tomorrow.
emotion?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't sleep well. Not because of that. I just was so
And you
like,
wake up the next day feeling like that was a mistake. Why did I do that? Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I
you
don't
know.
start getting those feelings until it's games like 7, like when they lose the series. Like it doesn't bother me if they lose the second game.
I knew they weren't going to win every game, and I didn't think that they were obviously going to win. If they had won last night, they would have won 6 playoff games in a row, which I just don't think.
It's hard
It's hard in any sport.
in
Never
any
mind a
sport.
sport where
Yep.
you're flying around and you're playing. Plus, they're playing increasingly harder competition, right? So it
Yeah.
wasn't like they won 6 in a row to win one series. They won 4, and then they now have faced 2 against a different team. And in the past 3 games, they've seen 3 different goalies. So like, there's a lot of moving parts
Right.
here. I just, it just gets me going, and then for them to lose just irritated me. But I know they weren't going to win all 6 games in a row. I think they still are going to take the series. I told you guys Bruins in 6, so it's they're 1-1 and they have a 5-game series essentially left. So I hope that they can pull it out in the next few.
I think they will. I have like the utmost confidence in this team.
They have some defensive issues though, Tyler, and the Islanders can expose them on that.
And they did.
They definitely could. Like, they have some injuries too, so they're a little short at defense.
They
And
don't have a captain right now though.
the Islanders?
Yeah.
No, but they have a wicked good coach. Their coach is really good. I'm not saying Bruce Cassidy is no scrub, but I don't know. That was Barry something or other. He's really good coach. Like, he knows what he's doing.
I will say one thing that's nice about these playoffs, NHL and NBA, seeing fans in the stands.
Oh, it is. It's great, isn't it?
Actually, can we
love
talk
it.
about that for a second? Because
Yeah.
the Boston just went to full capacity in Sports Stadium. Is it full capacity or 75%?
I think they're full.
I think Fenway had 25,000 a couple nights ago.
Well, and it seats 32, so that's full capacity. So I watched the Red Sox game versus the Marlins.
Yes.
And my goodness, it felt like it was Game 7 ALCS. The place was electric.
Yeah.
And so not only were the fans electric, the players were electric. Adam Ottavino has been dog doo this year. He's been pretty bad. His ERA is really, really high. He can't seem to locate his pitches. And he walks the bases loaded, I believe. And he strikes out 2 in a row. And the fans are all standing up cheering for him. And there was that set when he's trying to get the third out. And he gets the third out on a just beautifully placed slider. Oh my gosh. I mean, just a pitch that you don't see every day, and strikes the guy out, and the place erupts like so loud, and he walks off the mound screaming. He's like, "Let's go!" And I was just like, "Yo!" Like, I'm getting like playoff vibes from just a June end of May baseball game.
Yeah.
And when it changes a lot.
When the Bruins, when Pasternak hit that hat trick.
Oh, I mean, come on, the place it was a zoo. And when this is kind of a funny example, but every time Kyrie touched the ball in the game on Sunday night, everybody booed him, and it was loud and it was audible. It is so beautiful to have full capacity in stadiums
it's so
again.
much better with fans.
Sports are so much more enjoyable with fans and not this fabricated sound.
I can't wait for the NFL with fans.
Oh goodness gracious! Don't even get me started right now.
Goodness.
It's just amazing to have fans back after a full year and some change with no fans.
Yo, touchdown Patriots, the guns go off.
Oh.
Which I still can't believe they get away with doing that in 2021, but I hope they never, ever stop doing that.
It's such a cool tradition.
Yeah, it really is. And then, the song play, what song do they always play? But anyway, everyone's cheering, like, yes.
Yeah.
Especially if, like, it's snowing or something. Like, can't you picture it? Like, that's sports. I completely agree.
I can't wait till the next Red Sox walk off. Fans are screaming, and you hear that Dirty Water playing in the background. Oh.
You ever watch the old games where like the walk-offs and the fans jump over the
Oh yeah.
the embankments.
Have you
and
ever
just
seen the one where
storm the field?
Reggie Jackson hits a walk-off home run and he just starts tackling people because they're trying to come up and congratulate him? He's just trying to get to the dugout.
He's
and
trying
he's
to
just
get
mowing people over. Oh, so good. The 70s, man.
70s.
That would be the 80s actually, but
Real quick, the Toronto Maple Leafs lost Game 7
oh
to
my
the
gosh,
Canadiens.
what a dumpster
It is-
fire!
They
were
suck.
up. They were up 3-1. They haven't won a playoff series since 2004. It's like a joke now. It's like the
They've been doing this for a
Browns
long
or the
time.
Red Sox before 2004 or the Cubs. Like that's the team now.
They're like the definition
that
of
bad.
choke artists.
The worst part is like Toronto is like New York City to Canada. So like they have the biggest market and one of the biggest fan bases. So like imagine the Yankees. Like, well, actually, you don't have to because they really haven't been good the past decade. So like they haven't. They imagine like you have a standard for where you want them to be, and they're not there for 17 years. Like how frustrated of a fan base and all the questions you have to answer as a result.
Yep.
They talk about mental health. Yikes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how they keep doing this. Like, because they had a good regular season, like always, and they just poop themselves in the playoffs.
Yeah, they're bad in the playoffs,
Yeah.
just like the Packers.
At least the Packers can like move on.
They
once
can
in
win a couple
while.
games. Yeah, you know
Goodness.
they have a ceiling, and that ceiling is choking in
Like,
the NFC
the Maple Leafs
Championship game.
can't even get past the first round.
I know, it's embarrassing.
Like,
I would hate to be a Maple Leafs fan.
Speaking of Packers, last couple things. If Julio Jones signs with the Packers, is it enough to reel Aaron Rodgers back in?
No.
you don't think so? I
No.
think that'd be enticing.
I think
don't
it
think
should
Julio-
be, but I don't think it's going to change.
I
it.
really
Julio
don't think he wants to
and,
play for that organization anymore.
Even if they get Julio and Devontae Adams,
I really don't think that he wants to play for them anymore.
that's one of the
agree.
best receiver duos in the league.
Yeah, you're right, and I think that's how much he doesn't want to play for them.
Wow, that'd be if he still leaves, if they land Julio and he still leaves, that would show you how much he hates him. That'd be very telling. That's crazy.
Is that in
Yeah,
the top?
he lands and he
like,
goes, "I'll go to Denver instead."
Is it a rumor?
Oh man, yeah. What is that?
It's been talked about. I've heard it talked about already. I read an article about it. Like I don't know if it's a real thing.
I
mean,
know he wants out.
Julio Jones
of
put his
Atlanta.
hand in the air and said, "Someone please bring me in."
Did you hear about that? You heard about that thing with Shannon Sharp, right?
Yeah,
he called
yeah,
him wild.
He didn't know he was on air.
yeah.
And he's
Man,
like,
I'm out of there.
I'm out of there, man.
He knew he was on air. They just played it off like.
Are you gonna go on? Are you gonna go on the Cowboys? Nah, man. I want to win.
What a stab.
Well, I thought Dak
Oh.
Prescott was going to be,
That was
freaking lights out
hilarious.
this year.
He probably
That's
is.
funny. But they're still probably not gonna go anywhere.
They're just
Yeah.
not a great organization anymore.
They're not.
The other thing I
Sorry,
didn't stick in
Jacob.
the notes, I shared an image with you guys. So Bills win the division, and then Miami is 11-7. Is that right? Is that how many? 11-6. How many games they play? Is it 11 and
Yeah,
6?
it'd be 11
18.
and 6.
Or is it 11? No. 11 and yeah, 11 is okay. Anyways, yeah, because that's 17. I'm an idiot. I can't count. And then the Patriots at 10-6 in third place, and the Jets at
7.
4.
There you
10
go.
and 7. Dang it. And then the Jets at 4 wins, whatever number of losses. I don't feel like doing math.
Yeah, I don't know. It messes it all up.
Do you really think that that Miami will be above the Patriots this year? Like, do you really believe that?
No.
I don't know. Like, I haven't decided.
It just depends on how the quarterback situation works out. I don't know. Depends if Tua takes a step forward or not.
Yeah, and it depends on if they keep Cam Newton in all year, which I don't know if they will.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the Bills I think will be the number 1, and the Jets will be number 4. Those are solidified. But yeah, 2 and 3 it depends on what Tua does. If he progresses, then I think they would. And like you said, it depends on what the Pats do with the quarterback situation. Is Cam playing the whole time, or are they going to give Mac a chance like halfway through?
Mac Attack's not getting. I bet you. I'm gonna bet money Mac Attack's not getting the ball in one start.
Oh, I think week
so?
5's in play.
I think if Cam struggles the
don't-
first couple games, they're going to pull the plug on him.
No,
Yeah, I was about to say.
Yeah, they'll pull the plug on Cam Newton and put in Brian Hoyer.
If they're 3-5, do you really think they're going to keep Cam Newton in there?
Yeah, Mac Jones is not going to see a snap. I mean, not a snap, but he's not going to see a start. No way.
Are we betting money on this?
I'd be willing to put $100 on that.
Wow,
No
that's
joke.
confident.
I'd be willing to put $100 on Mac Jones not seeing a start. He'll see
You know
snaps.
what, Tyler? I'll take that bet.
I don't bet, dude. I'm a Christian.
I'll take that. Okay.
We'll hit the chat after this. And, we'll figure
right,
out the
Eric,
ground
go
rules.
ahead.
Yeah. All right. Well, everyone who's listening, you know you found us already. But for those who do not, your friends, your family who haven't started listening to us yet, let them know that we are on Apple Podcasts, we are on Spotify, we are on YouTube. Please let all your friends and family know about this because I think we're pretty cool. I may be biased, and we are all biased, but we're pretty cool guys. Follow our social media. We're on Instagram. We're on Facebook. Just look us up at Under.500 Podcast, and you'll see where we can post updates and new episodes, other content as well. And as always, feel free to leave us a direct message, letting us know some things you want us to talk about, any questions that you have, comments. We'd love to hear from you guys, from our fans. And having said all of that, it has been another great week with all of you. Tyler, Eric, always a pleasure. And we will see you guys next week.
See ya.
Enjoy. Bye.